Hey everybody, welcome to our weekend check-in video for PSY-45 research methods for Saturday, November 6th. And as always, just going to go over a few items as I always do. Sound like a broken record here, I'm sure by now, but here we go. First of all, the most recent discussion there for chapter 11 on factorial designs. Most of you did a really nice job there as far as submitting your factorial designs. However, some of you submitted things that really weren't factorial designs, so I'm just going to remind you to make sure before you create your submission that you read over all the information I provide for the discussions. I worked fairly hard to provide enough information, especially with examples that I gave you to just kind of walk you through, even if you haven't read the chapter, so you could actually do the discussion. So please make sure you read things and follow the examples I give, because that'll really help you out to craft your own submission so you won't make any major mistakes with that. So just kind of a reminder, and I know most of you know that, but I'm just reminding those of you that seem to have kind of lost your way with that. Next up here is that our next chapter 12 on the correlational research strategy. You're going to find as you go through that chapter, we've already covered some of that back in chapter 3, our chapter on defining and measuring variables, and also our chapter 6 there on the research strategies themselves. We covered the correlational strategy back there, so this is just going to be partially review, but I am going to expand some of the content, of course, because there's an entire chapter devoted to it, so make sure you watch those lecture videos. But the discussion and quiz for that will be due next Friday on the 12th. Okay, and be careful again to use the example I give you there in the discussion itself. Next up here, pretty important, your literature review is coming up there. It's due Wednesday, November 17th. That's the initial deadline. Remember that you can submit up to 3 days late per course policies, but there are point deductions for being late, 10% off for being late, and then 5% for every 24-hour period afterwards. And then after 72 hours, you won't be able to submit at all. The submission area closes out, so do get it in on time. Don't forget there's a dedicated APA literature review module right underneath Unit 5 of our course material on our Canvas course page. You'll scroll down past Unit 5, past Chapter 15, and then you will see the module there. Look for Component 3. That's the actual literature review itself. There are instructions there you're going to find, and along with a checklist. And at the very top of the instructions there, you're going to see a little how-to video where I kind of walk you through the paper. I have screenshots of the instructional page on the Canvas course page and show you all the files that are there, all the resources for you. So definitely watch that. It'll really save you some time and avoid any headaches there if you just take the time to do it, because I do put it out there for you to help you out. So again, take advantage of the resources I provide, and it's not a long video. It's not like an hour-long lecture, so do check it out. As you underneath the video, you'll see that there are links there to 2 files. I just put them in different formats, as a Word file and also the same file as a PDF, just to help out whoever's got any kind of issues there with the browser or device that they're using. I put it in both file formats, but it's labeled instructions and checklist. As you go through the instructions, you will find some embedded links there, some hyperlinks to a completed sample title page, abstract page, and actually an entire literature review paper. So just look for those links there in the instructions. Just keep scrolling down, you'll find it. All of those are on that online writing lab, the OWL, or the OWL as it's called there, so check it out. Also, don't forget, and you got a recent announcement about this, there is also a completed sample literature review paper in Chapter 9 of your Pocket Guide to APA Style, which if you have the print version of your textbook, it's in there towards the back. And if you have the ebook version, there's a dedicated link to the Pocket Guide there in the MindTap module on our Canvas course page. Just a little bit below the link you go to your MindTap assignments, you'll see it says Pocket Guide to APA Style, so use that to help you out. It's always good to have a completed sample to use as a model for your own submission. Again, think reverse engineering, just kind of work backwards from that original sample there. That'll really help you out. And that sample paper in your Pocket Guide is on birth order, by the way, too, because there's 2 sample papers there, but it's the first one on birth order. That's the literature review. That's the one you want to take a look at. And in the instruction file that I was mentioning there just a moment ago, you will find there, and it's on the Canvas instructions as well there that I have there in the module, that you are going to turn in 8 pages of literature review content. That is 8 pages of information from the 10 APA style references that you located there, plus a title page, plus an abstract page, plus a page of references. So 11 pages altogether, but 8 pages are the actual literature review itself, kind of the meat and potatoes of your paper, if you will. That's where you're going to talk about what you found in the literature, and make sure that you report on the literature. This is not a paper where you present your own personal life experiences or anecdotes or speculations and musings about the topic. It's okay to have some of that there, but primarily the paper needs to be about what you found in the literature, and use your outline to help you structure it. That was the purpose of your outline, to help you just have a framework to basically just pop in all the detailed information from your actual research articles. Okay, so make sure, speaking about the outline, make sure you incorporate any feedback from the outline, especially the need to use all of your references. You must say something about each one of your 10 references at least once, and also be careful not to say things about information from the scientific literature that you don't have in your list of 10 references. This is about the literature you found as documented in your list of references. That's why you have a list of references, so somebody like me that reads your paper can say, oh yeah, this is where they got that from. So it's not unlike what you would find in a textbook. Okay, so make sure that you just kind of keep that in mind. And also around issues around quotes and the formatting of your citations. If you had errors with those, I gave you feedback for your outline submission, so please make sure you incorporate that and correct those things. And again, do use the Pocket Guide to APA Style Sample Paper. Do use that link in the instruction file to the completed sample paper on the OWL site. That'll really help you out. At the bottom of the instructions on our Canvas course page there, in the module there, you'll find that there is a separate rubric file too. The rubric just basically presents to you, here's where the different areas of your paper will earn you points, so that it will help you basically avoid losing points, knowing that ahead of time. And also don't forget to take a look at that checklist in that instruction file right underneath the video there. The checklist is just a collection of numbered items that I just think it's important to let you know about, so that you know what you do need to have in your paper, so you know what you don't want to have in your paper. So it's like a list of do's and don'ts for your paper. It'll really help you out, so please take a look at that. Again, it's just to help you avoid making any major mistakes. I don't want to see you lose points for things you can easily avoid. That's why I tried to put all this together instead of just tossing you in the water and say swim. I'm trying to help you out, so definitely use that information. Also on the in the APA module there, if you look at it there, you'll see that there's a section there about plagiarism. Your papers will be submitted to that plagiarism analysis tool called Turnitin. So I will detect if you are plagiarizing material, so make sure you're paraphrasing properly, make sure you put things in your own words. And when you look at that plagiarism section there, it's just a short section in the instructions for the paper. You will see I have a sample PDF or PowerPoint there to show you. It's the same one from your book back in chapter 4 there when they talked about plagiarism. So I just reproduced it there. It shows you here's the original text from a scientific report, and then there's several examples of plagiarization of that actual text statement, and then they give you a final example which is proper paraphrasing. So take a look at that. It'll really help you out, because it's very tempting to just switch a few words around and then put a citation, but that's still plagiarizing when you do that. So even with a citation, believe it or not, that's still plagiarization if the words are pretty much the same as what somebody else already wrote before you. So make sure you put things in your own words. I just can't stress that enough. Also, don't forget, and you got a recent announcement about this, there is help available to write your paper at the Writing and Reading Center over in the library there. So I put up an announcement about that. You can do them in person, you can do them online. So they'll help you out with that. So they're familiar with APA style, so they can make sure you've got everything put together properly. Other than that, work ahead as always there. You have two more chapters in this unit there, 12 on the correlational strategy, 13 on the descriptive strategy. And I mentioned after you get past this factorial design chapter, it's a lot easier for the rest of the course, and you will see that when you read your text and watch the lecture videos. So otherwise, hopefully I will see you next time on Monday for our live session. Otherwise, have a good weekend and take care until next time.